Sorry about that, Vern. Thank you. Thank you, sweetheart. I had my mic turned off. Can you hear me now?
What she say?
Let me know if you can hear me now.
Yeah, check us out.
Yeah, Sandra, you're the early bird. And then here comes Deb as a second runner-up, and Esther.
Can you hear us now?
They'll let us know. They'll let us know. Let us know if you can hear us.
Wake up over there.
Give them time,
I
boo.
miss one.
They can hear us now. See, it's saying yes.
No, I ain't
yes.
see nothing. Now y'all can't hear me.
Okay. We started off with a bang.
Come to my front door and holler at me, and then I'll hear you.
Oh my goodness.
Aha, I got you, didn't I? Okay.
I'm glad you guys are with us this morning. And
Pure presence.
you all coming in the house. Looks like it's a whole bunch
Can
of
you
it.
hear us
Hey,
now?
Lori.
Pure presence. Can you hear us now? Okay.
They said yes, they can hear us now.
Okay, good.
I had the mic off and didn't realize it. So that's why.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Hey, Buzz, I'm glad you're here. Vern, I'm glad you made it back, sweetie.
Yeah, I thought think about you, Vern.
And George and Dee Dee, I'm glad you're here.
George Jr.
Apostle Norman, are you opening up? When is Father's Day? Is it today?
I don't know.
Is this Father's Day?
Every day is Father's Day to me.
Are you my daddy?
You mine.
Is this Father's Day? Tell me. We didn't keep up with any of it.
Morgan, good to see you.
And Marlon, I'm glad you're here today. And
Look at everybody here.
Everybody's here today.
That sounds like a good deal.
Sure
I'm
is.
going to tell the boss man to give all you guys a raise.
Everybody's here. Everybody's here. Okay.
We're going to do like Bruno Mars, leave the door open.
Yes, we are.
Where you been? What you doing? Where are you?
You got plans? Don't say that.
Oh, you got plans. Don't say that.
Pearl said Father's Day is next Sunday. Thank you, Pearl.
No, Miss Pearl, you wrong. It's today. I'm ready for it now.
Pastor Norman, are you opening up for Father's Day? I think he said he's gonna open up his church at Father's Day. And Tanita said Father's Day is on the 20th. Thank you, Tanita.
Tanita said no Father's Day is
on the 20th. I just said that.
Yeah, but I want it today.
Why do you want it today?
Because I'm ready.
You're not my daddy.
Look, you keep saying that. I'm going to show you some papers. I'm going to show you some papers. I am your daddy.
Where you go? What papers?
I got some papers. Don't you worry about that.
Okay. Anyway.
That's your sister. She got papers too.
And Norman said he's opening up on the 27th. That sounds good. Okay. Well, let's do our I am affirmations, and then we'll get started. I don't know where we're starting today. Do you? You know where you're starting?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good. Good. I'm glad one of us knows. Okay. Hey, Judy Jew.
Hello, Tanya.
All right. So here we are. Let's do our I ams. And if you would, don't multitask during this time. Good morning, Ollie. Ollie, I'm glad you and Yo-Yo are with us.
Yeah, good to see you. I saw your sister Friday, sister-in-law.
Sister-in-law,
mm-hmm.
yeah.
Terry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Tangi from Texas is with us.
Texas.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so don't multitask right now. If you can avoid doing anything and avoid distractions, that would be perfect. I want you to sit still, and I want these to go in. I want you to, when you say these, I want you to actually go into your meditative state so that it becomes true to you, okay? So that it is true to you or true as you. So let's take a deep breath in and let it out. Let all concerns go with it. All desires for the moment, what you would like to have happen. Let all of that go. Everything that may be concerning you, I want you to take another deep breath in. And now release it. All negativity, all tension. All worry, let it all go. And let's take one more deep breath in. And this time we are visualizing the breath and the presence of God coming in already in us. It's more even coming in as we draw in that breath. And now we release everything that is not God, everything that is not true of us. And repeat after me. I am complete. I am unattached. I am true. I am life. I am divine. I am holy. I am spirit. I am infinite. I was never born. I have no name. I have no age. I am unbound. I am aware. I am unconditioned. I am authentic. I am love. I am unlimited. I am free. I am sacred. I am unassociated. I am unafraid. I am unconcerned. I am intuitive. I am timeless. I am formless. I have no form. I am silence. I am peace. I am forgiveness. I am God realized. I am non judgmental. I am original. I am fully awake. I am undisturbed. I am divine health. I am immortal. I am the heart. I am essential. I am undefined. I am infinite. I am light. I am the knower. I am the I am. I am the I am. And so it is.
Okay.
Okay.
Miss Judy, I'm gonna say something to you right nice here. As she was reading off of those affirmings, I was reminded of the pool of Bethesda in the book of St. John. That was a place around the sheep gate, and you know it had to be pretty dirty and nasty for the sheep gate.
Mhm.
But that sheep gate was not so bad that the presence and the power and the person of God couldn't come around it. I'm saying this to you now because being a nurse, Miss Judy, that healing power that was around, and I speak this not only to you but everybody listening to us this morning.
Mhm. Mhm.
I inclusive all of you. But Miss Judy, being the nurse, and some of you others out there may know something about it too. That same healing power is the healing energy power that every one of us carry in our bodies right now as the pure self, eternal self.
Mhm.
As you go to different people and patients and hospitals, Jesus automatically said, if you visit them, you take care of them, you're taking care of him.
Mhm.
It also said that even you who come in the room to help them, to check their blood pressure and the IVs and all of that stuff, that's him in your form doing that.
Yes, yes,
Now, if
yes.
I want to slip out of this and go back into the physical side of the physical mind, the false self, I would say, Miss Judy, you are the one that's helping the people, and you are the one that check their blood pressure and all that. And that's slipping back over into the no real identity. But the real you is him, us, all of us. And I wanted to mention that to you because I felt that desire to tell you that that same power that it said around the pool of Bethesda, that at a certain season, an angel will step in there and touch that water, and that anybody got in the water, that old muddy place, got in that water, was instantly healed. But there was one man that every
Mhm.
time he got ready to step in, somebody would block him.
Mhm.
But my point is this, and that's this to all of you. We often hear the word said in church, born in sin and shaped in iniquity from my mother's womb. And then we always say we got to get God or get the Holy Ghost or get saved and get filled with the Spirit. But there's one thing that people are missing out of the whole thing, that a clue. When you study the word eternal, omnipotent, and omnipresent, and like David said, if I make my bed in hell, he's there. There is not one person in that room that you go to, Miss Judy, that God is not there. He is there. I'm going to tell you something else. God didn't wait for us to accept him as a savior, whatever you want to call it. He didn't accept us when we decided to live right or live a certain way. He was always in us. If you look up the word omnipresent,
Mhm. Mhm.
God is in the prostitute house. I used to think that he wasn't there because of the conditions of the environment.
God is in the prostitute.
He is in the prostitute.
He,
It
he
one,
is the prostitute.
but you can't. They won't say it because they are trapped in a trance. And what we're doing is untrancing everybody. With waking you up out of the sleep. Let's go deep into it because the sleep says, I can't have God until I clean up. Yeah? You still ain't clean enough now if he's in you. I asked him one time to get all the sin out of my church, and he said, well, you be the first one I get out. I asked the question one time, and I said, anybody in here ever told a lie?
Somebody said no.
Somebody said no.
Said, there's the first one.
The
right
first
there.
one right there, the first lie right there. Sweetheart, I'm saying this to you guys out there because I want you to know that I woke up to the truth that is contrary to popular demand in religion in the church.
Mhm.
They told me I didn't have the Holy Ghost until I spoke in tongues. I got some shoes on right now. They're shoes. They got a tongue. I got some upstairs that ain't got no tongue. They, they, they call them shoes.
Mm-hmm.
It is time for us to move on from the elementary things, Watson, and move in from Superboy to Superman, from Batboy to Batman or Batwoman.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Because at that pool, Miss Judy, every last essence of everybody in the universe was in that pool in Jesus. Jesus finally came by, and that was the man that couldn't get in there, and this man spotted Jesus and said, every time I get ready to get in there, somebody block me. Jesus healed the man. If Jesus healed the man, then the same power that was in the angel was in him, and the same power that healed the ones that were stepping in that this man couldn't get in front of was still there.
Yeah.
Before Jesus got there, the power was there. Hot dog.
That's right.
Before anybody, if somebody was there, Miss Judy, at the pool and saw the angel, here's the question. If the book said an angel stepped in, was that something of a hidden vision that somebody wrote or the transcribers wrote, that inspiration by the Spirit? If so, or did he actually see a person or being walk up? Whoever it was, whatever it was so obvious that it was put on paper with ink, and we got it. I don't care which way you look at it. The power was there before the angel came, and it said after he came, it was there, and Jesus was there to help this one man. So it don't make any difference where you are, what you're doing. You can't run God off.
True.
And you can't say he is eliminated because you don't have what they say you're supposed to have under certain conditions that they say you're supposed to have it in. I got wind in my tires, wind in my jaws. The same wind in my jaws, the same wind in my tire. I heard my sister-in-law I told him one time, I said, we are breathing each other's oxygen. She said, oh, Lord, have mercy. I don't want their oxygen in me. Well,
OCD kicked in.
Yeah, it kicked in. It's too late now, baby. You're breathing it in. You're using everybody's oxygen in the universe. I just wanted to bring that out to you because sometimes that unconscious hypnosis, see, everybody that came into this dimension had to go to sleep.
True.
But there are some people came into this dimension who was more sleepier than others or less sleepier than others. We got a little niece. She came into this world and was asleep, and she done woke up in it and saying everything I just said to you guys, she know about it and ain't never read about it.
That's true.
When I mentioned to it, she comes back and talk to me like she done been through the same thing. And how old is she now?
She's 19.
19. And she's been like that for a while. And the little bitty boy, what's his, who was it? Darius was like that.
Darius was like that.
Darius was like that. I ain't heard Junior say nothing yet.
Junior's a horse of a different
color. Yeah, Junior almost a chitlin, but he's all right. He's my boy.
Yeah.
Now, I want to also, while we're here, I want to send a great gratitude and a great appreciation to all of you at once. But at one band that I want to say to right here is Oliver Blue. He and his wife is one of the main people that God used to get us online to do what we're doing now.
Yeah, he believed in it.
He believed in it.
He believed in us before we did.
And before, it was way back there when brick and mortar was still in order.
And he preached to us to the point where we just actually got aggravated with him saying it so much. But he was telling us our next chapter.
Yes. And I want to say thank you, Brother Oliver. We met. He used to drive all the way over here from down in Burlington, right?
Cary.
Yeah, okay.
Cary, yes.
And come in the door and be with us
every Sunday.
To keep us going. I just want you to know, brother and sister, thank you so much for this moment that we are in now.
Oliver would drive here every Sunday.
Yep, that's right.
And he would be here most of the time on time to get us set up Well, I'll say it
Mhm.
like this: when we were first starting, he was here every day, every Sunday on time to get us set up. And then once he found out we could set ourselves up, he might have been a little bit late every now and then, but he was always here, and he was our cheerleader, sitting here in the room,
Mhm.
edging us on the
Mhm.
whole time. So when we didn't believe in ourselves, he believed in us and he pushed us. So thank Oliver for all of this.
And the rest of you guys out there, some of you were with us in the brick and mortar. We want to thank you for sticking with us even at this point. And the
Yes.
ones that we didn't see in person, you come from long distance. I want to thank you from the depths of my
Mhm,
tennis shoes.
mhm. Yeah, he was coming from Mebane. Yeah, and
Yeah, Mevin.
that's quite a
Hmm.
ways from us.
And I want to
Yes.
thank you, all of you, for the gifts, the giving, and the love gifts that you've transferred over into our cash apps and
Hmm. Hmm.
what it PayPal, and then some of you send it in the mail, and you just I just I never thought
We're
it was.
grateful.
Yeah, I'm
We're
grateful, and
very grateful.
I never run across anybody like y'all.
We're very
You
grateful,
know,
and
except for in heaven.
we're also very grateful for those of you who faithfully follow us, because having you come and listen just shows us that what we have to say is valuable.
Mm-hmm.
So we
Mm-hmm.
so much appreciate you as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So you guys are inspiring us to do this, and we will be back with you. And we're here today, Sunday, and then we'll be back on Tuesday, and then on Thursday we come back again.
Hmm.
And you guys are really, you're the one that give us the inspiration and the strength. When I look on this screen and see your name, I feel like I don't care what my body feel like. You pep me up.
Hmm.
Okay. All right. Do you have
Hmm.
something else you want to say to him?
No, you go ahead.
Well,
Go
okay.
ahead.
I want you to know that this power that they talk about in the books and the healing miracles, I found out that these powers work its best and highest potential when one wakes up to his true identity. Now, I've been around some guys who were in the religious churchology, and they've studied the gifts of the spirit and the anointings that smear rub on. I've been around a lot of preachers that had such a tremendous healing power that you could actually stand there and see it. I've had it happen through our own hands ourselves.
Yeah.
I did not know at the time that in union with Christ, you can still do the same thing, but from another
Yes.
perspective.
Yes.
I thought that was the only way. I thought that the only way you could get the power of God to come through you was to pray, fast, get in the closet and seek God,
Hmm.
or go to somebody that can transfer the power over on you and lay hands on you and preach to you, or sit under somebody. That's the principle in the finite self and in the book.
Yeah.
But and then too, when we first run across our Galatians 2:20, crucified with Christ identity, we never thought that waking up to the identity of oneness with Christ, the God of the universe, everybody,
Hmm.
whether you want to use that or not, it's okay.
That's right.
Uh, there's no schism in this.
True.
I never thought that I would be coming into the awareness that this potential ability is not receiving something, but it is who we've always been.
Yes. And for instance, when we did the affirmations, and I normally would say, I am loving, but now I'm beginning to realize that I am the actual love.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Or I am peaceful, but I'm
mm-hmm,
beginning to realize I'm the actual peace.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
And and speaking from that if you speak of yourself without memory,
mm-hmm,
without referencing the body, without referencing your feelings, you will speak of yourself totally different.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
You can say I am love and not have the feeling of being
mm-hmm,
that.
mm-hmm,
All of that would be true of you, because
mm-hmm,
you are
mm-hmm,
not relating to or referring to any memory of a self. Who are you looking at?
I'm just looking at the inspirational thank yous that are on.
I'll put them on the
mhm.
screen so you can see them, okay?
But
So you don't strain.
you are the one that was there, and I kept messing with this thing. I said, wait a minute. If God is everywhere, and He is, whether I say it or not, it is.
It is. Yes. Yes.
That means this. Now wait a minute. Somebody wants God to be there just because they can't teach them, or they pastor, or they bishop. But when I stepped outside of this thing and I dropped all suspended notions and began to shake off the barnacles from conditionings and look at this thing independently from anybody, start all over. In other words, when I come in the house, take my shoes off, leave everything outside the door that was not me by actually practicing. When I heard one say, we are the Holy Spirit.
Mm-hmm. And that's a biggie to accept. That's a big one to accept.
Now, I'm not talking about this. Hey, look, let me get something in. I remember back the first day I went in school, the first grade, I didn't know how to spell my name. And the teacher, I can see the actual place right now where the teacher in the desk in the room and can take every one of you to it right now. That's been over 50 years ago.
We don't need to go there.
I know that, but I know I'm going to tell you something. I wrote that name down and kept on writing until I finally got it into my memory. And as my memory, I identified with it. But here's my point. Mm-hmm. Before I got a name, Clifton Sawyer, I didn't have one. But I'm going to transcend that.
Exactly.
I'm going to transcend that. In the eons of eternal essence, I knew that I was going to pick that name before I got out of the womb, into the end and come out. Let me tell you something else. When I discovered this, like you find it out, every last one of us was no name when we got in the womb, but we knew before we got in the womb that name that we have now that you see on the list here on the right side of the screen was given to you. But before then, you had no name except for the last one you had.
Well, and you had no name, and actually you didn't identify with it.
That's right.
Until you heard it so many times when people were actually approaching you or referring to you. You heard that name so many times till you finally begin to realize, okay, they must be talking about me. And so that must be who I am. And so we took it that there was a moment, a day when I believed I am Antoinette.
And that was it.
Yeah. But that was the beginning of a concept of myself.
But I didn't go to bed up 24 hours, 24/7, telling everybody who I was.
You didn't have to, because it wasn't memory anymore.
I'll tell you what we call it. It's called entering into rest.
And that's what we did. We entered into the rest of that concept about ourselves.
Now, I never did call my daddy or Frank.
No, you sure didn't. I told you that.
I never did call my uncle.
You didn't call any of your family by their names.
My aunt asked me, said, "Who is that man right there?" I would say him.
So now, what's your point in saying that?
I'm saying it in the reference to names. Whether we have a name when we come here or not, we are still eternal beings.
Definitely.
In a limited condition self in the physical realm. Now, what we're doing actually, we're taking the leap of faith, or the jump, the long stepping jump of saying things as though we don't have a body.
That's it.
Let me read something to you right quick.
Here's something. That's it.
In the 17th chapter, Matthew, then after 6 days, Jesus taketh with him Peter, James, John, his brothers, and us.
Mm-hmm.
Hear what I just said? Peter, James, and brother, and us, you and I. and bringeth us and them unto a high mountain. You were there by spirit. And was transfigured before us, and his face did shine as the sun, and his raiment was white as the light. And behold, there appeared unto them Moses and Elijah talking with them. Now that last part, Moses and Elijah appeared, and when they supposed to be dead,
Yes.
this is thousands of years after they was on the earth. And then Jesus come back and tell everybody, in three of them, Peter, James, and John, and the brothers, all of them there, he was standing there, and Moses and Elijah appeared. Where do you think Moses and Elijah came from? They were in the spirit world. Then, okay, if you can answer that, here's another one. Where was the spirit world at located geographically? Inside of each one of them. So that means when Jesus was standing there and was transfigured, Peter, James, and John stepped out of him years before. And here come Moses and Elijah stepping out of him again. And here we go, stepping out of him again. All of us stepped out of him, and we look back at ourselves, and we look just like him with this body. My name now is Clifton Christ, and yours is Sandra Christ, Gwen Christ, Virginia Christ, Joe Christ, Dion Christ, Tanya Christ, all of these Christses. Now,
same Christ, but different, like you said.
Same Jews, different
cups.
Different cups.
So the cups are named Tanita, Joe.
There you go.
And
now look,
Virginia, and Gwen, and yeah.
When Moses and Elijah stepped out of Jesus, they were stepping out of the kingdom. They were stepping out of the inner self of Christ, and we were right there. We were right there as eternal being spirit. And we have always been with Moses and Elijah, and everybody else in our family that's on the other side, we are still connected to them. And let me tell you something else. If you think talking to the people on the other side that had crossed over, only thing died was the body. Right. And some of them didn't even lose their body. Their body was translated into spirit.
True. Before
they left this physical sense world. So this thing of people saying you're under the wrong spirit if you communicate with people on the other side, the dead, these people were not dead. And the rest of them that left their body, even though you don't see them as the Christ, they are not dead anymore. The only thing that's dead is out there in the ground. So I'm saying this to you guys to get you to understand, everybody that have heard about people having near-death experiences and then dying and coming back, and then somebody say that's not of God. Look, it's time for you to grow up, take off the mask and take off people's opinions, and go ahead on all the way deep in this thing, as deep as you can go. Go to this to this thing and find out that if Jesus talked to Moses and Elijah and they appeared to him on the mountain and the rest of them saw him, you can do the same thing, and it's legal. Okay. Now, here's what I found out. Letting go of all of who you are not will automatically increase your power. You hear that?
Yes. Now, when you say increase your power,
in other words, will increase the awareness of who you are, which automatically, when it comes down to power, you really don't need any power.
No, because you are power.
I just put that in there for the keepsake of words. You are the actual essence of God. They call it the chip off the old block. You are the essence of God that gives birth to children, male and female gender. We call it estrogen and testosterone.
You know, I was listening to a young man this morning talking about the trance that we're in, and he mentioned what we've been saying all along, that most of us, before we really discover who and what we are, we begin to see clearly what we're not. And he mentioned that neti process is what it's called. It began in India, I think it did.
Mm-hmm.
And he said the reason that neti process was so effective in India is
Mm-hmm.
because there are millions and maybe even billions. I can't remember how
Mm-hmm.
many he
Mm-hmm.
said living in India. It's very overcrowded,
Mm-hmm.
and they live in a space about the size of maybe California and one of our states. So they live in such a small area, but it's
Mm-hmm.
so many people. So in order to discover who they are, they had to go through a process of elimination. Take this away, take that away, take
Mm-hmm.
that away.
Mm-hmm.
And as they did that, they were able to find themselves as a peeling off, so to speak.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But here in the West, we're constantly adding to.
Yeah.
We're constantly adding to. Add power to me. Add this to me. Add that to me. And so we tend to overshadow what we are by accumulation
Mm-hmm.
of all of these things we're trying to get and to be. And so the neti process is even valuable here because I must come to the place where I begin to realize, even though I've got a name, my name is Dion, my name is Tadita, and my name is Antoinette. I've got to come to the place where I realize that the concept of Antoinette is what I have to let go of.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's what you're saying. Let go of that, and that's where the power comes.
Okay. I'm going to comfort some of you guys out there. She kept hitting a key phrase that let go. Let's just say you've been trying for a long, long time to stop bad thoughts from going through your head. You've been trying for a long time to get that chatter or that monkey mind to stop chattering in your head before you go to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
But here's a clue to this whole thing. Somebody fixed this thing for you and I, monkey mind. I. That if the monkey wants to swing from tree to tree and sit up on the weakest, poorest, best limb in the tree, that monkey don't understand that the ability that he has to move from limb to limb is the strength of God that has been used in him that we are made out of.
That we are.
That we
Yes,
are.
We are. Mm-hmm.
I can't get past this because it's too strong and too simple and easy
It's
to
so
see.
It's so simple. That's why most people miss it. Mm-hmm.
This translation of Moses and Elijah and Jesus on the Mount of Transfiguration is a type. I'm sorry, it wasn't a type. It was a fact.
Mm-hmm.
There were men in the book of Acts that appeared to different disciples.
Oh, I've got to say this to Laverne.
Yeah.
Laverne, I had the wonderful experience in my sleep, not last night, but the night before. And I meant to tell you that they found a cure for cancer. And I remember hearing someone tell me that they found a cure for cancer, and we rejoiced, and we just, oh man, we realized that thing was done.
That's right.
And I'm believing that is going to happen, or is happening as we speak.
As we speak.
As we speak, that is happening.
There is some troubled water that was stirred up. When we came into this world, we brought with us the healing power, the healing person identity of God.
You know what I saw when you said that?
Here we go. She's popping.
We came into this physical world. It was a muddy pond.
Thank you very much.
And people are laying around the banks of it wanting to be healed. And we came into this muddy pond and troubled the waters and began that healing for many, many, many people.
When I
say we, I mean the I that is we.
Yeah. When you mamas get to a certain point when you conceive and the baby's getting ready to come, what happens? Can you tell me what happened?
The water breaks.
Our water done broke.
How's that?
We have carried around inside of us from day one, the Christ child, the Christ baby, the Christ essence.
Mhm.
And the revelation of our oneness with him is the breaking of the water,
Okay.
giving birth to awareness, birth to consciousness,
Yes.
consciousness being born by waking up to the truth of I am.
Mhm.
That was the baby.
Mhm.
When the Roman soldier stuck the sword in his side, it was inside of us. He burst the birth sac for every one of us in the universe. And now we came out as blood and water running everywhere from Golgotha to the valley of the shadows of death.
Yeah.
Hell itself couldn't stop us from coming forth, and it can't stop us now, and it won't stop us now, and it can keep trying to stop us, but it will not succeed because it's too late. We done come out of the womb. We're coming open. And we don't mind letting them know by the grace of love. Don't have to say a word, but just like Jesus passed by the pool, passed by somebody, and the brush and the rub off of the presence. Let's go for it, y'all. Let's go for it. Let's go for the real deal of I am. And lay it bare before all men, even bare before your monkey mind, bare before any dark entity, bare before any hypocrite. And you find it ain't nothing hid from us. We've always been open to God. Every one of you now.
Mm.
I don't care how you feel. Well, you know, I hadn't prayed this morning. I got to get my time in. Go ahead and get your time in. If you don't have any time in, you're still the same I am. Glory be to God. Glory be to your divine self.
There is an older, not a sage, I get necessarily a spiritual teacher, Meister Eckhart,
Mm-hmm.
and it said that God only expects one thing of you, and that is that you should stop thinking of yourself as a created being, and let God be God in you, as you.
I remember when I was a little boy, body-wise, my uncle come in one night at 3 o'clock in the morning. I knew that I don't know, as a little boy, I didn't know anything about the Holy Ghost and all that stuff. I sit there on the side of the bed, and that man sitting in front of a wood stove, drunk as a wheelbarrow with a flat tire and one handle. And I was talking to him about God. I couldn't read, didn't know anything about a little boy, 5 or 6. And I told him how God was going to get him for being so mean to his wife, my aunt. Do you know he stopped?
God never did get him.
No, he didn't have to get him. He's already got him.
Yeah.
He just didn't know it.
Yeah, God wasn't interested in getting him.
I had a chance to talk to him about what we're talking now and had no idea at 5 and 6 years old that I would live to be 74, 73 and understand everything that I went through as a child.
Mm-hmm.
Ladies and gentlemen, you guys out there, your primary days, your kindergarten days of growing up, there was a Christ there that was waiting for the moment to come, like now that we're talking to you. It was waiting for the day of resurrection at a appointed time, that at such a time that your divine self saw fit through the definition of the word mystery. It was out of range of your natural understanding that right now you and I would be talking to each other the way we are this morning. I'd say glory be to God. I can look back over the past. I can look back now constructively, not using the story as a misdirection, but as an asset and not a liability.
Okay.
I can look back over everything and say thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I've been sewing, making pants out there, and one of the things I noticed when I get ready to sew a cuff on, and then so you got to line all the seams up.
Yes, you do.
And I've been sewing, and every once in a while I get one of those seams to be out, and I just let it go. But this time I decided to make sure. I sit there with one piece, and sometimes on a sewing machine you can line it up, and if you're not careful, by the time you get it under the walking foot or the needle or the machine, that section that's lined up will, when the pressure foot hit down on the cloth, it'll slide it.
Mm-hmm.
And you sew it, and when you take it off and you say, I know I had this lined up, you got to deliberately find out what the problem is if you can't line that seam up. But when you line it up, I notice when I line that seam up, watch this, here you go, and I look at it on the back side and it's not lined up, it don't register down in my solar plex area.
Well, that's why in people who actually do professional sewing, Miss Pearl knows this, they have notches where when they make their cuts, they have notches that in certain places on their patterns, on their cloth, where those notches have to line up.
Well, that's what I do.
Then when your cloth is going under that foot, it has to ease under it.
There you go.
It has to ease under it. If you stretch it at all, it will not line up.
But now there are some cloths that you get that if you don't.
But now, how is this relative to what we're talking about today?
Okay. Lining up.
Lining up.
I took it loose 3 or 4 times until I finally realized that some cloth you have is stretchy, and you have to hold it, because if you don't, the heavy industrial machine will gather it up. So I'm trying to sew light material on a heavy machine,
on a heavy duty machine.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I have to take advantage of my potential and patience to stop. I stopped 4 times and it wouldn't line up. I finally hit the niche in there. And here's my point. Watch this.
Okay.
When I got it lined up and I looked at it, I said, wow. And I was reminded instantly when I said, wow, I said to me in here, the Christ self right here. See, that's something the mind just had problem with. You always had this thing. I had nothing to do with it. It was God did it. I didn't.
False humility.
Yeah. Like the girl, that movie just come out, the girl who believes in miracles. They asked her about, she telling them about a dead bird fell, and she picked the bird up and was praying over it, and the bird came back alive. And she called one of the little boys, her friend, and told him how she was holding the bird, and the bird came alive. And the little boy said, you did that? And the little girl false humilitized and said, no, God did that. No, if God did it, you did it. So my point is this. When I got those seams lined up, Miss Pearl, I said with gratitude, my inner self, thank you. See, when you're praising God, you're praising God. He ain't somewhere off at a distance. You ain't going to praise him. Oh, I can't praise him until I feel like it or something good. Look, don't wait for God to give you something or something real good to line up. That's what I'm saying about the line up those seams. I had a judgment on myself that if I didn't get those seams lined up, I am a bad seamstress. I'm a bad sewer. And there's something that you sew that just ain't going to line up. And you got to know your stuff, how to keep it even when you get to the end of it.
Okay.
I make my marks. That was one of the things I had to learn about making cushions and covers for sofa cushion. I had to learn to make the mark at each end, so that when I got to it, if that cloth did not match up, I got to.
Are you saying there is effort in trying to line it up? What are you saying?
What am I saying is that if you want to line up with your inner self, inner witness, you're gonna have to bear the burden of doing something by grace, labor of grace and grace of labor, to line some things up so that you can see God
Okay.
in your actions. It's
Okay.
called VIA, together along with. We talked about the pony motor. The
Okay.
pony motor was that little bitty motor on that bulldozer, that D9, D10,
Mm-hmm.
that if you turn that little pony motor on it, it's a little tiny motor that heats up the diesel fuel.
Yeah.
You do that, and then the big motor step in. So some people say, well, I don't want to do nothing self because myself ain't no good. Yes, it is. And the same way to line up those things. If you don't line them up, you can't put the blame on God ain't being there. God ain't close enough. It's just that you haven't allowed God to be you to push the issue of lining those things up. Metaphorically speaking, it's the same thing I found out about sawing wood on a bandsaw. I would push the wood, forcing it to cut through, and I had to retreat back to my inner source, inner essence, and take a deep breath and relax and not rush that blade. Allow it to do itself, to perform itself, because it was designed to. You are designed to walk in God like He's you and He is you without struggle.
Okay.
That's called lining up your
Okay.
seeds.
Lining up.
In other words, this. I don't want you to put your shoes on and they don't line up. Put it like this. You ever been put some shoes on and your socks slide down in your shoe?
Oh yeah, I've had hungry shoes.
Oh,
before.
these shoes that eat your sock up.
Yeah.
But when I found out how to line my sock up, when I lined my sock up and put that shoehorn in there and flop my feet down in there, hot dog, it ain't a better feeling. When you line this thing up and realize, listen to this, you and God are more than partners. You're more than friends. He told me a long time ago. See, it sounds like God talking to us separate and apart, but He's right here in us. Whenever you see God in the physical world, you're seeing Him inside yourself. Uh-oh. Whatever you see God in the physical world, He is that on the inside of you.
Okay.
Wherever you see
Pearl
God.
said she's been there, but she had to let go of the resistance in her to fight the fabric and allow the fabric to flow without resistance.
There you go. Thank you, Miss Pearl. Out there, I give you a big hug, girl. You know that's the truth.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell people, I was with Mr. Joe and the other week, and he was driving the car, and I saw the seats on the inside of his car were made out of leather.
Yeah.
I have had a chance to sew leather through my sewing machine, and it is a different awareness of consciousness to watch that needle, no feed dogs, pull that leather through it. It's the prettiest thing. I'm telling you, it's the prettiest thing. And the stitches are just, if you got your attention right, I'm saying all this metaphorically to say to you guys, there is a you that is already lined up with God, and all you have to do is allow your attention to see it.
Yeah, yeah.
You don't have to add no more to you. You don't have to do nothing else. You don't have to pray no more. I feel that down in here now, that inner witness. When I let go of that saw and decided to wait for that blade. Now, if the blade is dull, you need to know what it is, and you need to be able to understand. I'll tell you something else about sewing machine.
Well, can I jump in?
Yeah, go ahead.
I know some of us embarked on this enlightenment journey thinking that once enlightened, I'm going to be able to have power. I'm going to be able to have all of the things I want in this physical world. Everything's going to work out just like I want it. But then there are those of us who have embarked on this journey in hopes of truly finding ourselves, not trying to get anything else. And so if you're thinking that you're going to wake up and all of a sudden everything's going to fall in place and you're going to have everything you ever desired and you're going to live this great, beautiful, loving life, wealthy life, you may not have that, because we cannot guarantee when you wake up to who you truly are, what kind of life you're going to actually live. Because you may not have the same aspirations.
Mm-hmm.
You may not have the same uh, uh, likes and dislikes.
Mm-hmm.
You will not have the same outlook. You will
Mm-hmm.
see things totally different. So whereas, for instance, you may have been thinking, I want this giant house with
Mm-hmm.
15 bedrooms and 10 bathrooms, and when you wake up, all of a sudden you don't want that anymore. You want to live in a cabin. It's totally different for every person. So you can't start out in this journey thinking it's going to give you everything you want.
Mm-hmm.
It's designed to open your eyes to who you truly are, and that's a whole different ball game.
It is a different
That's
world.
a whole different ball game.
Mm-hmm.
But I can promise you this: if you go deep enough to find out who you are, you will experience a peace that you have never had before. And all of the psychological suffering that you've experienced in the past will no longer mean anything. It doesn't mean things go away. Hurtful memories don't go away. Painful experiences don't go away. They just no longer matter.
Yep.
They no longer matter. And so I don't know if that's what you want, but that's what I want. I want that. I want those things to no longer matter. And I see what Buzz is saying. Buzz, I'm with you. I'm here to reduce my suffering. And that's exactly right, to reduce your suffering.
Buzz, let me tell you this. When you see the reduction, the decreasing of suffering in yourself, watch this now. This is powerful. And I used to think it was an individual private thing, but it's not. When you reduce the amount of suffering in you, you just reduced it all over the earth.
Yes.
And everybody else in the universe.
You actually heal the earth.
Yeah, you did.
You actually heal every person, because every person is you. And you when you fix you, you're fixing everybody else. And it has to start with you. That's why a lot of times when people come to us and they'll ask us to pray for someone in their family, that they'll be able to do this, or they'll be able to see this, or it isn't about them. It's about you being disturbed about what they're disturbed with. So it's important that we relieve our own suffering. And Kim said this, that no longer matters. And that's exactly what happens to us when we wake up truly to who we are. Things no longer matter. They don't go away. That's the thing that most of you need to really get. Most of us think that when we're fully enlightened and awake and we find who we truly are, we begin to really see that everything else just clears up. But it isn't like that. It's that it doesn't clear up. You transcend it. And I speak this like for Laverne. Laverne's going through some really major things right now with her husband and her mom. But then that doesn't go away. But at the same time, transcending it relieves all of the suffering that goes
She's
with it.
having a chance to see God from a different perspective.
And I like what Connie said. That's so true. It brings about a whole new outlook on life. And Kim says, my closest family mistake my revelation for weaknesses. Yes, your revelation is not weakness. It's just that you see life through God's eyes. And this is the other thing. When you see life through God's eyes, God is never ever disturbed by what he sees.
Let me share something with you guys out there.
Oh,
I know that this fresh enlightenment, revelation, and insight is okay. Now, I had to learn this through testing and trying. And a lot of times, new revelation can bring a lot of suffering on you unnecessarily, because there's something in you that feels like it has to share it with everybody. And when you get deep enough settled in this thing, you'll learn how to watch, look, and leave people alone. I can remember back when a little boy, when in the bootleg moonshine house where I was raised up, every once in a while somebody get religious and they start talking about the Bible, and before you know it, there's a big argument, a big fuss.
Yeah.
And I found out, and then sometimes they would call me from over in Winston over across town to get me and my wife to come over there to the house where I was raised up and get involved in that.
Mm-hmm.
And I would be crazy enough to go over there and do it, knowing that if I get over there, it will take the power of God. See, some people, some of us feel I got to go into all the world and preach the gospel.
I think that's old religious thinking.
Yeah, it is. But now that we've understood, I tell you what, here's what I'm going to say to you. I found out that God is not the one using spiritualized ego. That's what I wanted to say. Mm-hmm. Spiritualized ego is what makes so many people want to force their loved one and force people.
But you know what I said about that? You know, a lot of times, especially when we were in the brick and mortar, and we had a lot of people come to us back in our fundamental evangelical days. Mm-hmm. People would come to us and they said they want their family members saved and all of this. And I thought, I finally come to the conclusion that we want all of those other people saved, or we want them enlightened because it disturbs us.
For us. And you know what?
Yeah, it disturbs us.
And God has not forgotten them inside of us. Look, our time is up.
Our time is up.
Oh, Lord.
And I feel like we hadn't said a thing, but
I ain't got nowhere close to saying to y'all what I want to say.
I feel like we hadn't said a doggone thing.
Well, thank you so much for tuning into it. I saw a few new people coming in. You keep on coming in. Hey, open up your mind and be a little bit more settled in acceptance, because we're going to say some things that's real radical. Come and be with us Tuesday night at 7 and Thursday evening around 2:30. Is that right? 2 o'clock?
Thursday around 2:30.
Okay.
Yes, at 2:30.
At 2:30.
And by the way, I am planning to, I think this will be the last month we do impromptu.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to shut impromptu down for the summer. But Pastor Norman and I will be on there until the end of this month. And then I maybe start it back up in the fall. But I've got some other things I'd like to do. And so I'm going to put that off for a little while. But we'll be doing it for the rest of May. But in the meantime, here's how you give if you're interested in doing that.
Please do.
Pastor and I are not going to push you to do it. We know you know what to do, and you have in your heart what to do. And this is just something that you do of your own free will. We're not going to pressure you. But if you want to give, and we would like for you to continue to support Cornerstone, which is a virtual church.
Yes.
You can text CLC Greensboro to 73256, or you can do paypal.me/Cornerstone35, or you can mail it if you don't know how to do those online things. You can do P.O. Box 36259, and that's in Greensboro. 27416 is the zip. Or you can go to the actual website, and you can hit the donation button and do it right there. And of course, if you want to give the pastor and I, you use our Cash App or our PayPal. Man, we want to thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Melissa, she said, I got up at 4 a.m. Hawaii time to be here. Just what I needed today. Oh, thank you so much, Melissa.
Yes.
Thank you. So we got a member in Hawaii.
Yeah, I will be.
Oh my gosh. Thank you, Melissa. Thank you, Lori, for your kind words as well, sweetheart. Thank you all so much. And of course, we'll be back on Tuesday at 7:30. 7.
7.
I want to say 7:30.
I don't know. You got that in there. But
maybe because we did the
7.
prayer session at 7:30 last Friday. So,
but in the meantime, hold it in the middle of the road, tie it down on the right side and left side, and keep working it.
Yeah, and it's working too.
Because something supernatural is taking place, because that is what you made out of. The supernatural good stuff. See you later.
Oh, we love you guys so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.